Sit back and enjoy an hour of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. This phenomenon is called tonic immobility and occurs in chickens when they face a stressful situation. It can be induced by tracing a line in front of their beak while they are lying down or moving a finger in front of their eyes. In that state, the animal reduces its heart rate and remains motionless. It is interpreted as a defensive strategy to feign death to avoid attacks. Some predators prefer active prey. The trance can last several minutes and is interrupted by erasing the line or stimulating the bird. Although it may seem unusual, it has been documented in ethological studies. This is a cymbal hit captured in slow motion. Musical cymbals are usually made with bronze alloys for their acoustic quality. Brass is also used, especially in basic models. The impact generates complex vibrations that propagate throughout the surface. These vibrations produce the characteristic sound of the instrument. These are blue or green chicken eggs laid by breeds such as the Araucana, native to southern Chile. Their color is due to the accumulation of biliverdin, a natural pigment in the shell. It is not caused by a special enzyme, but by a genetic mutation. These eggs have the same cholesterol content as white or brown ones. Their color does not affect the nutritional value. They are appreciated for their distinctive appearance and cultural origin. This shows a hermit crab inhabiting a glass shell, specially designed for aquariums. Although it does not occur in nature, these crabs can adapt to artificial shells if the size and shape are suitable. The glass shells allow their body to be observed as it moves. Meet the dragon-headed caterpillar. The larva of the butterfly Polyura moss is characterized by having around 6 protuberances on the top of its head, similar to horns that extend backwards with a hood-like appearance. This caterpillar lives in the regions of the Mediterranean coast of the Iberian Peninsula, Mediterranean islands, and North Africa. This is how a baby's bones are distributed. Although at first glance they seem to be separated, they are actually connected to each other by cartilage. This tissue is not detected in X-rays as it has not yet transformed into bone. Over time, as the baby grows, the cartilage hardens and becomes bone through a process called ossification, which allows for the complete development of the skeleton. In Spain, there is a town where there are more dogs than people. In the town of Morga, located in Spain, this peculiar phenomenon has been attracting the attention of locals and strangers for some time. According to data from the General Register of Animal Identification of the Basque Country, Morga has the highest proportion of dogs to its inhabitants in the entire province. As you can see, dogs are increasingly considered an integral part of the family. The lurid volite, known scientifically as Suolellus luridus, is a fungus that lives in pine and deciduous forests. It emerges in summer and autumn, and its flesh turns blue when cut due to a reaction with oxygen. It is toxic if consumed raw or undercooked, especially along with alcohol. Although it is not usually lethal, it can cause gastrointestinal discomfort. Its striking appearance makes it easy to identify. This was recorded in time-lapse and shows the rows of Jericho turning green again. Its scientific name is Anastatica hyracontica, and it is native to Arabia, Palestine, and Egypt. It is a plant extremely resistant to desiccation. It can remain dry for years and rehydrate on contact with moisture. Its spherical shape allows it to roll with the wind in search of water. This behavior makes it a tumbleweed adapted to the desert. This is Lombard Street, located in San Francisco, United States. It is famous for its winding section with 8 sharp turns. It was designed this way in 1922 to reduce the original 27% slope. The layout allows cars to travel safely. Its construction was proposed by resident Carl Henry and executed by the engineer Clyde Healy. Today, it is a tourist attraction and urban symbol of the city. The bikini, designed by Louis Reard in 1946, was named in honor of the Bikini Atoll, where the United States was conducting nuclear tests. When it was presented in Paris, it was considered so daring that no professional model wanted to wear it, and it was presented by a cabaret dancer. Today, the bikini is one of the most popular swimsuits in the world, symbolizing freedom and liberation in female fashion. This is the bobbit worm, a deep-sea marine annelid known for its ambush technique. It can reach up to 3 meters long, although it usually measures less. It lives buried in the seabed, leaving only its head exposed. Its retractable jaws attack with great speed and precision. It feeds on fish, squid, octopus, and small crustaceans. Its bite can split its prey in half. It also consumes organic remains, which makes it omnivorous. This is the most expensive bottle of vodka in the world with a value of $1.3 million. The bottle was created by the Darts Motors car factory and was made with 3 kilograms of gold and silver. It was in a collector's bar in Denmark until a thief broke in on January 2nd, 2018, and stole the expensive bottle. One day later, it was found on the street, dented and empty, and the culprit was never found. She is Isla Kirstein, a young Norwegian woman known for her ability to gallop on all fours. Her movements precisely imitate the trot and gallop of a horse. She started by practicing with dog gestures before perfecting her equine technique. Her videos went viral for the coordination and naturalness she demonstrates. Although she closed her social networks due to media attention, her recordings are still circulating. This is the evening gown that Miss Thailand wore in the gala dress parade of the competition. If you pay attention, you will see that it is made of hundreds of soda cantabs, this in honor of her parents, who are garbage collectors. This is the moment when shadows disappear, filmed in the Ciudad Mitad del Mundo in Pichincha, Ecuador. It occurs during an equinox, when the sun is located in the plane of the celestial equator. At that moment, its light falls perpendicularly on the surface. This causes objects not to cast a shadow at noon. The phenomenon happens twice a year, in March and September. After spending 6 months training, the teenager Veiko Marcelshvili solved 6 Rubik's Cubes underwater in a single breath. Veiko finished the cubes in front of a crowd at the Geno Paradise water park in Russia in 1 minute and 44 seconds. In this way, he managed to set a world record. These are hyperrealistic sculptures by the Mexican artist Ruben Orozco Loza. They are made with materials such as silicone, resin, wood, marble, and human hair. His level of detail seeks to represent public figures with extreme realism. Each piece requires months of work and anatomical study. Orozco is internationally recognized for his technique and expressiveness. The largest known egg was laid by the elephant bird. Epeirnithidae are an extinct species of birds that lived in Madagascar. It laid extremely large eggs that weighed up to 12 kilograms. They had a circumference of approximately 1 meter. These enormous eggs were used to incubate large young and protect them from predators. Recorded in India, this group of white plant hoppers forms a visible colony on vegetation. Plant hoppers are hemipteran insects known for their ability to camouflage. Some species resemble leaves. They live in various tropical and subtropical regions. In certain crops, some species are considered pests for transmitting plant diseases. Their presence can affect rice, corn, and sorghum. Not all white species are harmful, but some require control. This was recorded in time-lapse and shows a mosquito feeding on blood. Its abdomen visibly expands during the process. Every year, more than 700,000 people die from diseases transmitted by mosquitoes. Among them are malaria, dengue, and yellow fever. This figure exceeds the annual deaths from armed conflicts in the world. Throughout history, mosquitoes have been the animals that have claimed the most human lives. This that looks like a mixture between a hyena and a fox is a maned wolf, also called the maned wolf. It is the largest canid in South America and lives in Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Argentina. In Uruguay, it is practically extinct. It lives in grasslands and wetlands and is harmless to humans and livestock. Its diet includes fruits, roots, rabbits, birds, frogs, and occasional carrion. It has solitary habits and is elusive in behavior. If you put a piece of tape on a frosted glass, you will be able to clearly see what is on the other side. The adhesive of the tape fills the small holes in the frosted glass. This allows light to exit the glass without scattering. This strange animal is the deep-sea tripod fish, known scientifically as Pithipterois grallator. What look like legs are rigid extensions of its pelvic and caudal fins. These allow it to perch on the seabed as if it were on stilts. It remains motionless for long periods, oriented towards the current. Its diet is based on small crustaceans and zooplankton. The chocolate cosmos flower is an exotic plant native to Mexico, famous for its natural chocolate aroma. This dark red flower is extinct in its wild habitat, but is still cultivated through cloning for its preservation. It blooms in summer, attracting pollinators with its sweet and unique fragrance. Its rarity and captivating scent have made it a highly valued plant by gardeners and flower lovers. This system was created by Elena Gassler, a high school student in the United States. Her invention seeks to reduce blind spots in cars. It uses a camera placed outside the vehicle on the A-pillar to capture the area that the driver cannot see. The image is projected in real time inside the car. The projector is aligned with a reflective fabric inside, creating the illusion of transparency. This design improves visibility without modifying the structure of the vehicle. It was awarded for its ingenuity in a national science competition. This is what would happen if a radioactive spider bit us. In the comic strips, Peter Parker gains his powers when a radioactive spider bites him, but in real life the result would be very different. Let's suppose that a specimen was bombarded with neutrons, a particle that can make a matter become radioactive. If an animal with those conditions bit us, it would cause a lethal radioactive poisoning. So, unfortunately, we would not have any spider superpowers. This is the road zipper system, a machine that relocates containment barriers according to vehicle flow. It allows to create reversible or confined lanes quickly and safely. It works by lifting and moving concrete segments without damaging the pavement. It is common in areas of high congestion or road work. Its design includes an S-shaped channel that guides the barriers. You thought the hair of the Buddha statues was curly. In reality, they are snails. According to an ancient legend, while Buddha was meditating, the sun burned his hair. It was then that many snails climbed onto his head with the intention of protecting him. This is a robot presented during the Digital Content Expo in Tokyo, Japan. It was created by the National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology of Japan. It measures 1.58 meters and weighs 43 kilograms. It is designed with human proportions and expressive capabilities. Its performance demonstrated advances in humanoid robotics. The record for the largest number of passengers on a plane was set in 1991, when 1,086 people were evacuated aboard a Boeing 747 on their way to Jerusalem. The plane landed with 1,088 passengers, as 2 babies were born during the flight. These are transparent salps, belonging to the family Salpidae. They live in equatorial and temperate seas, moving by jet propulsion. Their gelatinous and almost invisible body makes them difficult to detect. Part of their life cycle is solitary, and another part occurs in long-chained colonies. This generational alternation is mandatory and facilitates their reproduction. These are razorfish, known scientifically as Eoliscus strigatus. They live in tropical waters of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, especially in reef areas. Their body is elongated and compressed, and they swim in a vertical position, head down. They move in groups in a synchronized way, which helps them avoid predators. Their diet is based on zooplankton, such as copepods and microcrustaceans. Watch what happens when a drop of water hits a mosquito in mid-flight. Surprisingly, it does not affect it at all. This is because the exoskeleton of these tiny insects is extremely light, which allows them to absorb the impact without suffering any damage. The pilot Bob Hoover performed an aerial maneuver called a barrel roll while serving water in a glass without spilling it. During the 360-degree turn, he maintained a constant acceleration of 1g. This force is equivalent to the Earth's gravity and allows objects to behave as if they were at rest. In that state, the liquid remains in the glass thanks to the balance between gravity and centripetal acceleration. This was recorded in Saint-Malo, France, a coastal city known for its strong waves. The waves can reach the second floor of the buildings in front of the dock during Atlantic storms. Saint-Malo was developed from the 6th century on a rock inhabited by the monk Maclu. The original settlement, Aleth, was fortified by the Romans in the 3rd century. In the Middle Ages, the area was plundered by the Normans. Today, it is a tourist center with historical walls and an active port. This is the Chinese martial arts team using a chang, or traditional spear. The chang is considered the king of weapons in wushu, along with the staff, the saber, and the sword. What we see is a wushu competition, a sports discipline derived from Chinese martial arts. It includes choreographed forms and combat. Wushu was standardized as a sport in China in the 20th century. The spear stands out for its range, speed, and technical difficulty. Jay Alvarez is famous for filming his reckless adventures, and in this video, along with a group of friends, he shows how they jump on a trampoline. The incredible thing is that they are doing it at 3,000 meters high on a trampoline that is suspended by a hot air balloon over the clouds. This was recorded in Chueo, Venezuela, a coastal town with no road access. In the image, 4 boats are transporting a bus over the sea. This practice is carried out from Coroni as a solution to the lack of road infrastructure. Although risky, it is a technique known to the inhabitants. The event went viral on social media in 2019. It reflects local creativity in the face of logistical challenges. Probably recorded in Russia, this vehicle is a water bike called Waterbird. It is designed to move on water by human force, without a motor. Its lightweight structure, made of aluminum and fiberglass, gives it stability. The user is propelled by vertical body movements. This gesture activates a mechanism that takes advantage of the resistance of the water to advance. Some models include mechanical parts similar to pistons. It is a recreational innovation in personal nautical design. Meet Robert Maddox, also known as Crazy Rocketman. He is an inventor who designs and builds the largest pulsed jet engines in the world. His engines run on gasoline and have a thrust force of between 14 and more than 1,000 pounds. This phenomenon shows clouds that change from white to yellow depending on the position of the camera. This effect is due to sunlight, especially during sunrise or sunset. At those moments, the atmosphere disperses the short waves and lets the long ones pass, such as yellow and red. In addition, cell phone cameras automatically adjust the white balance. This can alter the colors according to the angle and exposure. Fiancés exchange rings at weddings as a symbol of eternal love. Egyptians used them 3,000 years before Christ for their circular shape as a symbol of eternity. Greeks and Romans popularized rings with family seals on the fourth finger of the left hand, believing in the vena amoris that connects to the heart. Pope Nicholas I made their use official through a decree, symbolizing true love and commitment in the eyes of the Church. The southern vizcacha is a rodent native to Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, and Peru. These curious creatures spend much of the day sunbathing, grooming, and resting, showing off their soft and abundant fur similar to that of a rabbit. Vizcachas live in family groups that sometimes form very numerous colonies. Each family uses a natural shelter, usually hidden among cracks or rocks. These are the ghost cubes, created by the Swedish designer Erik Aberg. They are three-dimensional structures formed by connected cubes. They can be folded, rotated, and transformed into multiple shapes. They combine principles of origami, kinetic sculpture, and modular design. Aberg has worked with materials such as paper and wood to build them. The iodine clock reaction consists of mixing equal amounts of two transparent and colorless solutions in a glass cup. After about 20 seconds, the contents of the cup suddenly transform into a black liquid. Recorded at the World Aviation Festival in England, this video shows how a helicopter works. The main blades rotate at a specific angle to generate lift, elevating the aircraft. This movement not only pushes air down, but also creates differential pressure. The tail rotor counteracts the torque of the main rotor. If this fails, the helicopter can spin out of control. Some models use alternative systems such as coaxial rotors. This is what happens if you splash or make sudden movements near sharks. If you decide to take the risk of moving like this, these animals could mistake you for prey or a threat. This is a train clearing snow from the tracks, probably in a region with heavy snowfalls. In countries like Canada, the United States, or Russia, locomotives are equipped with special devices for this task. These include front plows, rotary blowers, or combined systems. The front of the locomotive can be completely covered by the removal equipment. This set is known as a snowplow kit. It allows the tracks to be kept operational during the winter. This is what a sea turtle looks like when it is sleeping. When sea turtles sleep, they can reduce their heart rate to just a few beats per minute to conserve oxygen. This is a hybrid work of art created from bees, honey, sun, and minimal human intervention. This type of art that fuses animal and human elements arises from the creativity of the artist Thomas, who decided to give nature the leading role, demonstrating that intensive human manipulation is not necessary for them to be considered authentic works of art. Crocodiles can survive in frozen lakes. When temperatures drop, these reptiles enter a state of torpor called brumation, a kind of hibernation. They stick their snouts out so they can breathe during the time the water remains frozen. This state allows them to conserve energy and withstand environmental conditions. This is the caterpillar of the prominent moth, also known as the prominent moth. It is a moth of the family Notodontidae. The moth has a wingspan of 40 to 70 millimeters and varies in color from gray to green and brown. This is the goblin shark, a little-known species that lives in deep waters. It can measure between 3 and 4 meters and has an extensible jaw that projects to trap prey. Its long snout is covered with sensors that detect electric fields. It has been occasionally captured by trawlers in Japan, New Zealand, and Mexico. Its habitat is usually between 1,000 and 1,400 meters deep. This is the Lithoreto abitanica, a worm capable of eating rocks and turning them into dust. It was first found on the banks of the Abitan River in the Philippines, and although it seems quite fragile, it is in charge of making tunnels through the limestone rocks that are the perfect habitat for these and other creatures. When researchers observed the entrails of this animal, they discovered that it not only drilled the rocks, but also fed on them. This process is called macrobioerosion, and very few animals are capable of such a feat. This is what happens when you place a red-hot metal sphere on ice. The extreme heat melts the ice immediately, generating steam and intense sounds. The sphere can sink partially if the block is thin. If the ice is thick, the metal loses heat before passing through it. This is a Chinook helicopter touching down and entering resonance. Ground resonance occurs when the vibrations of the landing gear and rotors dangerously synchronize. It does not depend directly on the engine speed, but on the interaction between structures. It can cause severe oscillations if not corrected in time. The solution is usually to adjust the rotor speed or take off immediately. During the protests of June 2019 in Hong Kong against the extradition bill, protesters blocked streets but allowed emergency vehicles to pass. They opened space for an ambulance and removed barricades for a fire truck. The mobilizations brought together more than 1 million people. Recorded in Val-d'Or, Canada, this sled glides between snow-covered trees. The city is located in the province of Quebec and has long, cold winters. The boreal landscapes allow activities such as sledding, skiing, and snowshoeing. In Banff National Park, in Alberta, Canada, wildlife corridors have been built over the Trans-Canada Highway. These elevated and underground passages allow animals such as bears, moose, deer, and cougars to cross safely. They are covered with native vegetation to simulate the natural environment. Studies have documented more than 200,000 crossings in 2 decades. In addition to protecting the fauna, they have reduced road accidents by up to 80%. Recorded in Russia, these soldiers are wearing ghillie suits, also known as yoi in some contexts. These camouflage suits allow them to blend in with the natural environment. Their origin dates back to Scotland, where guards called ghillies watched over noble lands against poachers. They wore clothes covered with strips of fabric and local vegetation. Recorded in Russia, this phenomenon shows a strong snowstorm known as a whiteout. In these conditions, visibility can be reduced to less than 1 meter. The extreme temperatures, often below 20 degrees, increase the risk of hypothermia and disorientation. The whiteout occurs when suspended snow completely covers the visual environment. It is common in open and high-latitude regions. This is a baby octopus, a vulnerable stage in its life cycle. Some species reach reproductive maturity between 2 months and 2 years. Females can lay up to 200,000 eggs, although the number varies depending on the size and species. After laying, the mother cares for the eggs until they hatch. She then dies as part of her biological cycle. Most of the young are devoured by marine predators. Only a few manage to reach adulthood. This is a mosaic made with Rubik's Cubes that represents the character from the mobile game Flappy Bird. The game was created in 2013 by the Vietnamese developer Dong Nguyen. It achieved great popularity before being withdrawn by its creator. The technique used for the mosaic is called Rubik's Cubism. It consists of forming pixelated images by manipulating the colors of each cube. This is the famous Superman punch used in Muay Thai and other martial arts. It consists of simulating a kick by lifting the back leg to distract the opponent. Then, the fighter throws a jumping punch with the opposite hand. The technique generates additional momentum and can surprise with its speed. This is a party of surfers in San Diego, United States, a city with a strong surfing culture. San Diego hosts events such as the Switchfoot Pro-Am and the Luau and Legends Invitational. These celebrations combine surfing competitions with music and community activities. This was recorded during Mardi Gras in New Orleans, United States. What we see is the Laissez Boys group parading in motorized recliners. They are part of a local crew that celebrates the creativity of the carnival. This parade is famous for its festive and theatrical character. This is an orphaned kangaroo entering a cloth pouch that simulates the maternal pouch. Kangaroos are the only large mammals that move mainly by jumping. They can reach speeds close to 70 kilometers per hour in short bursts. To walk slowly, they are clumsy due to their morphology. They use their tail as a third leg in a pentapedal gait. This movement allows them to move forward while feeding. This was recorded in Japan, where we see several pigeons huddled around a car. This behavior occurs when there are food scraps nearby or the vehicle is in an area frequented by birds. Urban pigeons usually congregate in places where they can easily find food. This is the Devil's Pool, located on the edge of Victoria Falls between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It is a natural pool that forms during the dry season, between September and December. In that period, the flow of the Zambezi River decreases and allows swimming with supervision. A rocky wall prevents swimmers from being dragged by the current. Although it seems safe, swimming is not without risk. This was recorded in Ontario, Canada, at the theme park Canada's Wonderland. What we see is the Yukon Striker, a dive coaster-type roller coaster. It was inaugurated in May of 2019. It is known for its great height, speed, and vertical drop. It is located in Vaughan, north of Toronto. It is one of the most prominent attractions in the park. These are homing pigeons trained in a dovecot for the Derby in Seville, Spain. Pigeon racing is the practice of breeding and training pigeons to compete in long-distance flights. In these events, the birds travel hundreds of kilometers guided by their sense of orientation. The Derby Seville is one of the most recognized competitions in Europe. The dovecots allow to control and measure the performance of each specimen. These are crop circles recorded in a mangrove in Isla del Carmen, Mexico. Although they were confused with extraterrestrial messages, they have an ecological function. They are part of a mangrove reforestation program. The circular structures are known as cakes for their shape. They act as seed deposits in degraded areas. They allow the mangrove to regenerate naturally. In November of 2019, the French company Royal Dove Luxe installed a work in Nantes that showed a Renault pierced by a tree. The intervention surprised the locals due to its realism and apparent technical impossibility. The tree looked intact, which suggests that the vehicle was carefully disassembled and assembled around the trunk. 2 days later, the work was set on fire by unknown individuals. It was speculated that the act could have been due to annoyance over the traffic generated. This is the hobo nickel, a form of art that consists of modifying low-denomination coins. It originated in the United States, especially with the buffalo nickels from 1913. During the Great Depression, artists known as hobos carved designs on these coins. Well-executed pieces, or those signed by recognized artists, can reach high value. Some have been auctioned for more than $30,000. Groton State Forest, located in Vermont, United States, covers more than 26,000 acres of protected areas. In autumn, its landscapes attract visitors for the colorful foliage. The forest includes 7 state parks and old railway tracks converted into trails. Activities such as hiking, cross-country skiing, fishing, hunting, and camping are practiced. This was recorded at the Ice and Snow Festival in Harbin, China, one of the largest in the world. Every winter, thousands of tourists visit its monumental sculptures made with ice from the Songhua River. Many are illuminated with colored lights. Temperatures usually drop to -15 degrees Celsius or even less. The long-nosed chimera is a cartilaginous fish that lives in deep waters of several oceans, between 200 and 2,000 meters deep. Its first dorsal fin has a venomous spine used for defense. The elongated nose is equipped with sensors that allow it to detect prey in the dark. It feeds on small fish and invertebrates. It belongs to the family Rhinocomeridae, related to sharks and rays. Recorded under the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, this sailboat is the Maltese Falcon. With 88 meters of length and 12.6 meters of beam, it is one of the largest private sailboats in the world. Its height reaches 57 meters, just below the bridge's clearance, which measures 67 meters above the water. It was built by the Italian shipyard Perini Navi, with technical collaboration in Turkey. There are playing cards made with authentic carbon fiber, known for their resistance to water and wear. Carbon fiber has a high strength-to-weight ratio, superior to that of steel in certain applications, although it is denser than most plastics. These decks are usually sold as luxury items. Some versions reach prices of more than $190. In Finland, swimming under ice is an extreme practice that requires training and safety measures. The swimmer Alina Mäkinen has performed rope-guided dives in frozen lakes where accesses are cut in the ice. In water close to 0 degrees, a person without protection can lose consciousness in less than 15 minutes. The use of a rope allows to maintain orientation under the ice. The practice combines physical resistance and mental control. This is a robotic hand prosthesis made with 3D printing. It works by capturing electrical signals from the body, known as myoelectric signals. These signals allow the user to move the prosthesis with precision. It is designed for transradial amputations, that is, those that preserve the elbow. This type of technology improves the autonomy of people with limb loss. The art of Yanlian, or face changing, is part of the traditional Sichuan opera in China. It consists of the rapid change of colored masks using secret techniques. The artists use precise movements and hidden mechanisms in the costumes. Although there is speculation about the use of threads, the exact method has not been revealed. Each color represents character traits: red for loyalty, white for betrayal, black for integrity. The practice requires years of training and is considered a cultural heritage. Recorded at the Bitforms Gallery in New York, this is the pom-pom mirror by the artist Daniel Rosen. The work is composed of 928 faux for pom-poms. Each one moves thanks to 464 motors connected to a digital system. A sensor detects the position of the viewer's body. The silhouette is reproduced in real time through the movement of the pom-poms. It is a kinetic sculpture that unites art, technology, and perception. A homopolar motor can be built with a battery, a magnet, and a conductive wire. The magnet generates a constant magnetic field, and when the circuit is closed, the current flows through the wire. This current interacts with the magnetic field according to the Lorentz force. The result is a rotational movement of the wire, or the mobile assembly. The current does not circulate radially, but in a direction perpendicular to the field. The design is simple, but demonstrates fundamental principles of electromagnetism. It is one of the most basic electric motors known. The Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield demonstrated what happens when you cry in microgravity from the International Space Station. In the absence of gravity, tears do not fall down the face, but accumulate in the form of a bubble on the eye. This phenomenon can make it difficult to see and cause discomfort. Although the eyes produce tears normally, they do not slide down the skin. Hadfield explained that they must be removed manually. This sport is Zorb soccer, a variant of zorbing or spearing. It consists of players partially entering inflatable spheres to play matches. Zorbing as a recreational activity emerged in New Zealand in the 1990s. It was developed and commercially registered by local entrepreneurs. The spheres allow to roll and cushion impacts during the game. In Colombia, street artists perform acrobatics at traffic lights, including tightrope juggling. These presentations occur during the change of light, taking advantage of brief traffic pauses. Compressor Head is a band formed by robots, created in Berlin in the year 2005 as an artistic and technological project. Its members include Stickboy on the drums, with 4 arms, and Fingers on the guitar, with 78 mechanical fingers. The robots play real instruments using pneumatic systems and digital control. They have participated in international festivals and shared the stage with recognized fans. Filmed with a drone in the tundra of Iceland, this landscape shows subarctic regions of sparse vegetation and extreme climate. These areas are found mainly in the interior highlands. The terrain is rocky with mosses and lichens adapted to the cold. This is the Macallan Ice Ball Maker, a device that molds spherical ice with precision. It uses thermal pressure to transform blocks of ice into 65mm spheres. It is made of aluminum alloy and designed for drinks such as whiskey or cocktails. The spheres melt slowly, which preserves the flavor without diluting it quickly. It is marketed as a luxury accessory by the brand The Macallan. Recorded in the United States, this hybrid vehicle is called the Boaterhome and was created by the company Sport King in the 1980s. It combines a Ford Econoline van with a 28-foot cabin cruiser type boat. The land cabin is adapted to couple with the boat's hull, forming a functional unit. It can circulate on the road and navigate in water. The design allows it to be used as a recreational vehicle and a recreational boat. This is a scale model of a Corsair fighter plane, known for its distinctive design. The original model was used by the United States in World War II and the Korean War. Its most notable feature is the inverted gull-shaped wings. Some later models could fold their wings to facilitate storage on aircraft carriers. These desserts were created by the British chef Ben Churchill, known for his hyperrealistic style. His works imitate unappetizing objects such as used ashtrays and rotten fruits. Each piece is made with edible ingredients and advanced pastry techniques. The objective is to challenge the visual perception of the diner. This is a tutorial on how to make an open diorama of a swamp with crocodiles. Dioramas are models that represent realistic or artistic scenes. The modern concept was developed in 1822 by Louis Daguerre and Charles Marie Boughton. Before that, in 1781, Philip James de Lautherbourg presented the Ide-Fusican, a precursor theatrical installation. Although it was not a diorama in the strict sense, it influenced its evolution. This is a hyperrealistic tattoo done by the Hungarian artist András Gombos. Known for his technical precision, he works in Switzerland at the Blade and Amp Shade Studio. His style includes portraits, Asian motifs, and detailed covers. This is the Racketsbruck Bridge, known as the Devil's Bridge, located in the Kronlauer Park in Saxony, Germany. It was built in 1860 as a decorative structure. Its arch is designed to form a perfect circle when reflected in the water. It is not allowed to walk on it due to its fragility. It is one of the most photographed bridges in Europe for its unique symmetry. This was recorded at the Kaufman Music and Arts Center in New York, United States. What we see is a glass harmonica invented by Benjamin Franklin in 1761. The instrument is composed of crystal bowls aligned on a rotating axis. To play it, the performer moistens his or her fingers and rubs them on the edges. It produces soft and ethereal sounds through friction. Recorded in Santiago, Chile, this street musician plays the violin while manipulating a puppet with his knees and feet. The The puppet simulates playing the piano, creating a synchronized and surprising scene. The coordination between live music and scenic movement requires great skill. This was probably recorded in Austria, where mudflows are common in mountainous areas. These phenomena occur after torrential rains or during the thaw at the beginning of spring. The accumulated water drags earth, rocks, and vegetation downhill. Recorded from Pedra de Gavia in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, this monolith rises to 842 meters above sea level. It is considered the largest coastal monolith in the world due to its height and proximity to the ocean. On occasions, skydivers perform base jumps from its summit, although they are not officially authorized. These descents are extremely dangerous and require high precision. The oil change of a Bugatti Veyron can cost between $20,000 and $25,000, a high price due to the complexity of the process. To carry it out, it is necessary to partially disassemble the vehicle, which includes removing the rear wheels, the brakes, and the fender to access the drain plugs. This work requires specialized technicians and can take approximately 1 week in the workshop. Bugatti recommends performing a complete maintenance every 15,000 kilometers or a maximum of once a year. This will probably make you angry. Do you know how much it costs Apple to manufacture a pair of Beats headphones that they sell to you for an average price of $250? This is the Urban Imprint Project, a strange project that prints designs on t-shirts using manhole covers. The artist Emma Frances gets the prints on her t-shirts in a very unusual way, using manhole covers and other unconventional street elements in the decoration of garments. This technique was named reverse street art and is quite simple. The girl is only in charge of cleaning the surface she is going to use and paints it with washable ink to then carefully place the fabric and capture the drawing. In Australia, torn banknotes have value. Its central bank gives the size of the torn piece of value proportional to that of the entire banknote's denomination. The only condition is that the piece represents at least 20% of the total surface area. In this way, if someone has half of a $20 banknote, they can claim it at the bank. However, it must be said that it is very difficult to tear them. Australia was the first country in the world to manufacture all its banknotes with plastic. If you take naps longer than 30 minutes, you should stop. Short naps of around 15 to 30 minutes can increase alertness, improve mood, and boost productivity. This is because they keep you in the lighter stages of sleep, avoiding the so-called sleep inertia, which can cause drowsiness and confusion upon waking. However, if naps exceed 30 minutes, you can enter deeper stages of sleep, which results in a feeling of drowsiness upon waking, known as sleep inertia. This can negatively affect your performance and mental sharpness immediately after waking up. This is what the Jinghaoyinchuan Highway looks like in China. The colored lights that can be seen in the images are laser beams installed from one end of the road to the other. This innovative system is used as a unique method to combat night fatigue in drivers. The bright colors are designed to keep drivers alert. However, although this technology can help, the main recommendation remains that anyone who feels tired should avoid driving completely. What you see here could be one of the worst and at the same time most dangerous acquisitions you can make online. The USB killer is a real device designed to damage electronic devices through the USB port. It works by discharging an intense electric current into the device it is connected to, which can cause irreparable damage to its interior and other components. The concern for cybersecurity has increased, as some market it as a security testing tool to evaluate overvoltages in your equipment. However, in many cases, they end up being used maliciously to destroy or render equipment useless. Helicopter bombers are multifunctional aircraft. Although their most common use is to fight forest fires in complex and large areas, they are equipped with a ventral tank or a helibucket with a minimum capacity of 4,500 liters of water that is filled from sources, such as swimming pools, rivers, or lakes. They then transport the water to the site of the fire, where it can be dropped alone or mixed with special additives to speed up the extinction of the fire. She is Mira Modi, an American girl who started selling passwords through a website in the year 2015. Currently, each of her keys has a price of $8, and although it is strange to hear, the truth is that Mira continues to sell passwords. The reason is that she uses a system with which she generates very secure keys composed of a minimum of 6 random words. She obtains these words after rolling the dice a total of 30 times. According to what she explains on her website, this system allows her to create passwords that are easy to remember and extremely difficult to decipher. This was the shift change of the Kirin Lighthouse, one of the most dangerous in the world. Observe how they went down and up a rope. Fortunately, since 2004 it has been automated and there are no people inside anymore. This is a mysterious giant megaphone in the Mojave Desert in the United States. Although in reality experts do not know what this steel object of 2.4 meters long and about 300 kilos of weight is. It is also not clear why it is in this place. However, it is believed that it has been placed here since 1940 or 1950 due to the rust that the structure has accumulated. Maybe in the future our furniture will be like this. Transform is a table that adapts to whatever you are doing. Its surface is composed of more than 1,000 pieces controlled by individual microprocessors, reacting to gestures and objects. The largest living being that inhabited the sea was the Parasites colossus, a primitive Eocene whale. It is the only species of the genus Parasites. It was found in the Peruvian coastal desert and is estimated to have weighed between 85 and 340 tons. Its dense bones suggest that it could rival the blue whale in size. It probably inhabited shallow waters and fed on animals from the seabed. A skeleton found in Peru weighed more than 7 tons, much more than that of a blue whale. This aquarium was modified so that a cat could see its interior from as close as possible. His name is Casper, and the owner of the Aquarius and Ant Exotic store made this aquarium so that he could poke his head inside it and thus see the fish in the front row, and it shows that he loves spending hours observing them from very close. Boeing was founded in 1916 by William E. Boeing in Seattle, initially as a seaplane construction company. The curious thing is that the first plane, the Boeing Model 1, was a seaplane that was not sold, since it was only used for testing. However, the company focused on innovation and during World War I began to produce fighter planes, which led to its success. Today, Boeing is one of the world's leading manufacturers of commercial and military aircraft, known for iconic models such as the Boeing 747. Meet Barry Marshall, a doctor who did something truly incredible. He drank a cocktail containing very dangerous bacteria to prove that they were the cause of stomach ulcers, a fact that other doctors did not accept. In a few days, he began to develop ulcers and left his colleagues speechless. For this bold experiment, he received the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2005. A peculiar case in nature is what happens with crabs. In some cases, they tend to eat their young to obtain the necessary nutrients for their own survival. In addition, in the species of red crabs, females can lay up to 100,000 eggs, which requires a large amount of energy and resources. Some scientists mention that this type of behavior is due to competition, since by eating their young they avoid competing with them in the future for resources that are quite limited, whether for food or space. China inaugurates the longest and most impressive glass bridge in the world. This bridge measures 526 meters in length, is 100 meters high, and is located in the south of the country. The work has glass plates of 4.9 centimeters thick with almost total transparency, so the views are impressive. In addition, each panel weighs 4.7 tons and can hold more than 2,000 people at the same time, distributed in 4 different platforms with capacity for 500 people. This is what aerial photos looked like before drones. Before drones existed, pigeons were used to take aerial photographs. This photography technique was used in 1907 by the German Julius Neubronner, who equipped a homing pigeon with an aluminum harness on its chest to carry a lightweight miniature camera. It was so successful that even the United States CIA developed a battery-powered camera for pigeons. Let me introduce you to Bacon, a dog that looks very worried all the time due to his interesting face. His images went viral on the internet. He is a mixed-breed dog, and his owners share his photographs on an Instagram account called The Baconator, which already has several thousand followers. On Mount Rushmore, where the faces of the American presidents are sculpted, there is a secret room that houses a titanium safe. The original idea was to use this room to store the country's most valuable treasures, but it was finally never used for that purpose. The Taipei 101 Tower in Taiwan was the tallest building in the world from 2004 to 2010. It incorporates traditional Chinese design and modern technology. Its structure is designed to withstand earthquakes and typhoons, common in Taiwan, thanks to a huge 660-ton mass damper suspended inside it. This device is not only functional, but also a tourist attraction, being visible to visitors of the building. This is the solar egg, a sauna inside an installation that simulates being a giant egg. It was created by the Swedish artist duo Begert and Anth Bergström. The sauna is located in Kiruna, Sweden. This curious structure has the capacity to house up to 8 people because the interior measures 4 meters wide. The solar egg was made of pine wood and golden steel panels that emit a lot of reflection. Gamma ray bursts are the most energetic eruptions known in the universe, surpassing the luminosity of an entire galaxy for a few seconds or minutes. These explosions can release more energy in a few seconds than the sun does during its entire lifespan of 10 billion years. The American Stonehenge, officially known as Mystery Hill, is a site in Salem, New Hampshire, that features a series of rock formations arranged by human hands. Some believe it is an ancient astronomical observatory, while others think it could have been used for religious rituals. Its origin and purpose remain a mystery. Just about 50 kilometers west of Bangkok, Thailand, is the impressive Dragon Temple, which rises above the landscape. The design of the temple was developed during a deep 7-day fasting meditation by its founder, and it rises to 80 meters, symbolizing the years of Buddha's earthly journey. In Florida, an underwater music festival is held, where the concerts are broadcast through underwater speakers and the musicians are divers. They use real instruments, as well as more creative ones such as the fish flute and the starfish guitar. The main purpose of the festival is to promote the conservation of reefs. Why does it look like the reflection of water in the distance when you are driving on the highway, but when you get closer it disappears? It is an optical phenomenon called a mirage or heat reflection. When the asphalt heats up, the air just above it also heats up and expands, creating a layer of air warmer than the surrounding air. This layer curves the light rays that pass through it, creating the effect of a puddle of water on the horizon. As you get closer, the temperature difference is reduced and the effect disappears. In Samoa, Oceania, it is a crime to forget your wife's birthday. The law states that men who forget their wife's birthday can be punished with fines or even imprisonment for up to 5 years. The law seeks to maintain harmony and respect in families. This Brazilian tightrope walker walked on top of giant waves in one of the most extreme places in Portugal. His name is Emerson Machado, and he performed this extreme feat on a rock known as Pedra do Guilherme in the north of Nazaré. This site is visited every year by hundreds of adventurous people who seek to witness the monstrous waves that hit that corner of the coast. Ball lightning is an uncommon atmospheric phenomenon and still not completely understood, as it consists of the appearance of a luminous sphere, generally of variable size, that moves erratically and lasts longer than a common lightning bolt. Unlike conventional lightning that is brief and linear, this one seems to float or move slowly through the air and in some cases can even penetrate buildings. Meet the Sky Surfer, which is the smallest flying transport that exists. It is a compact electric vehicle that offers anyone a safe freedom of movement in the sky, very similar to the Green Goblin's personalized aircraft from Spider-Man. At the product launch, the Sky Surfer gained several million views worldwide and quickly became the most trending topic in traditional media and social networks. Watch how these mosquitoes cannot resist the heat of this man's hand even when there is a glass in between. That is the reason why they are not always easy to detect. These small winged vampires have a built-in heat detector, and there is no barrier that can stop them. Did you know that there are professional football players? Bear Borja and Alvaro Garcia, the European champion brothers. Their skill is incredible. In Kyoto, Japan, the Arashiyama bamboo forest is a place of serenity and natural beauty. Walking along the paths surrounded by tall bamboos that sway with the wind is a unique and peaceful experience, much appreciated by both locals and tourists. The only white gorilla in the world is Snowflake, the only albino gorilla that has existed. Studies of his genome revealed that his parents were related. They were uncle and niece, and the recessive gene of both caused his albinism. This is a car made of cardboard that is fully functional. It was made at the initiative of the car manufacturer Lexus. They named it Auto Origami, and it is actually a replica of their IS sedan model. It was made with the intention of paying homage to the great talent of the workers who assemble the brand's vehicles, and that is because to perfect their skills, the employees make origami figures using only their non-dominant hand. Corn originated in America. Corn, also known as maize, has been cultivated by indigenous civilizations for thousands of years. It is one of the most important crops in the world and is used in a wide variety of foods and products. Observe these incredible miniature pieces. They are created by the Japanese artist Kiyomi, and her talent allows her to print very precise details on her tiny imitations of real objects. She creates spectacular dollhouses whose furniture is super realistic. She uses materials such as paper, fabric, wire, and wood, but the most important thing is the patience and delicacy with which she must do her work. The curious and strange images you see now are of this makeup artist who has an incredible talent for turning parts of her body into optical illusions. Her name is Mimi Joy, and she can paint all kinds of shapes on her arms, legs, or face. Her drawings of food are extremely realistic. Tsunamis are giant waves caused by tectonic movements under the water. They can travel at speeds of up to 800 kilometers per hour in the open sea. Although they have little height on the high seas, they can increase dramatically as they approach the coast, causing devastation. One of the deadliest tsunamis occurred in 2004 in the Indian Ocean, resulting in the death of more than 230,000 people and leaving a deep mark on coastal communities. Easter Island is the most remote inhabited place in the world. Located in the South Pacific Ocean, Easter Island, known for its iconic stone statues called moai, is about 3,700 kilometers away from the nearest coast in Chile. In the 1970s, the animated series The Flintstones almost had a spin-off of the Blackstones, something similar to the Flintstones, but starring an African-American family. These could have looked like this. Meet the Hair Museum in Turkey. It was created by the local potter Shea Gallup and is currently one of the most curious museums in the world, as it houses about 16,000 hair samples from women all over the world, each one with its name and origin. Apparently, the collection is increasing as more tourists come to visit the famous place. Observe the curious species of spider that looks like a leaf. It was discovered in tropical forests in southwest China. The color of the female's abdomen is green and brown, which is why it looks so much like living and dry leaves. Scientists believe it is a species of orb-weaver spider that had not yet been described. It is not clear why it developed this appearance, but it is possibly to hide from predators or to surprise its prey. Penguins can jump up to 3 meters high out of the water. Although they are known for their ability to swim agilely underwater, they are also capable of performing impressive jumps out of it. Some species can jump up to 3 meters high to reach the surface. Did you know that green bees exist? They are called orchid bees and look like flying jewels. They are known for their beauty and for being pollinators of orchids. They have a solitary lifestyle. That is, they have no queen, no workers, or no guardians at the nest entrance. They are common in Costa Rica and Panama. In Catalonia, Spain, a unique tradition known as castles is celebrated, where teams of people come together to build impressive human towers that can reach up to 10 levels high. This tradition symbolizes strength, balance, and teamwork, and has been recognized as intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. Zimbabwe experienced one of the worst hyperinflations in history, reaching an astonishing 79.6 trillion% in November of 2008. The situation was so extreme that the government printed 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollar banknotes, which could barely buy a loaf of bread. Finally, in 2009, Zimbabwe abandoned its currency and adopted the United States dollar and other foreign currencies. The elephant shrew, despite its name and its similar appearance to that of a shrew, is not related to shrews as one might initially think. Surprisingly, the elephant shrew's closest relative is not another small mammal, but actually the elephant. Both belong to the Afrotheria, which is a diverse group of mammals that originated on the African continent millions of years ago. The longest continuous road in the world is the Pan American Highway, which extends from Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, in North America to Ushuaia, Argentina, at the southern tip. With a total length of approximately 30,000 kilometers, it crosses 14 countries and an impressive variety of landscapes, from the Arctic to the tropical jungle. However, there is a 130-kilometer interruption in the Darien Gap between Panama and Colombia, where there is no road infrastructure. The term millionaire originated in the 17th century in France, derived from the French term millionnaire. It was used to describe extremely wealthy people who had £1 million or more at the time. Reaching that level of wealth was extremely rare and was a symbol of success and power. Today, although the definition remains the same, the number of millionaires has grown exponentially throughout the world. In 2017, the price of Bitcoin, a decentralized cryptocurrency, shot up from less than $1,000 to almost $20,000 in a single year, unleashing a global speculative fever. The extreme volatility of its price attracted both investors and critics and, although many considered it to be a bubble, the blockchain technology behind Bitcoin has continued to develop and transform sectors beyond finance. The phenomenon of dreams that seem to predict future events is complex and still not completely understood. Some theories suggest that it may be due to coincidences, subconscious intuition, or retrospective interpretations after the event occurs. However, the lack of solid scientific evidence leaves this phenomenon in the realm of speculation and continuous debate. Some of the most exclusive buildings in the world have elevators for vehicles. Observe how they are lifted. You will be able to admire your supercars from the living room. The wealthiest man in Georgia, Pizzina Ivanishvili resides in a $50 million mansion built mainly with glass and metal. This house, known as the Glassel or Glass Castle, offers a panoramic view of the entire city of Tbilisi from its top floor. In ancient Greece, throwing an apple was a custom that was associated with love and desire and was linked to Aphrodite. It was thrown to a woman to propose marriage to her, and if she caught it, it was a sign of consent. The Spanish fashion brand Zara was founded by Amancio Ortega in 1975 in La Coruña, Spain. Amancio is the richest man in Spain, who to date has accumulated a fortune of 115 billion euros. He is known for his fast fashion business model, which involves producing affordable and high-quality trendy clothing at a rapid pace. Fort Hurihar is an impressive natural fortress that rises to 1,120 meters in altitude and is famous for its steep steps. The experience of seeing a light at the end of a tunnel when dying is described in many cultures and religious beliefs. Although it has not been scientifically proven, some theories suggest that this could be the result of a lack of oxygen in the brain, the activation of certain brain areas, or simply the manifestation of a brain process during moments close to death. This is Philippe Petit, a French artist who in 1974 crossed the rooftops of the Twin Towers walking on a tightrope. He was 400 meters high and lasted 45 minutes giving the show, and he not only crossed them once, but 8 times. When he completed his feat, the police had to arrest him since he did not have the required permits to carry it out. The kiwi, a flightless bird from New Zealand, is notable for several reasons. It is one of the largest egg sizes in relation to its body of any bird. Its feathers look like hair, and it has an excellent sense of smell with its nostrils at the end of its long beak. Kiwis are national symbols of New Zealand and represent a unique species in the world's avifauna. In 3D printers, surprising applications have been developed, and one of them is food printing. This is possible thanks to emerging technologies that use edible ingredients instead of plastic. They are capable of creating personalized shapes and textures using ingredients such as chocolate, pizza dough, ground meat, mashed potatoes, and more. This is the potential of combining robotics, 3D projection mapping, and the work of an actor in perfect sync. It is a 5-minute short film called Vox. 2 high-definition screens, 3 industrial robotic arms, and an actor who manipulated them were used. Modern football or soccer evolved from ancient ball games with roots in various cultures. The organized version is attributed to England in the 19th century. The Football Association established rules in 1863, laying the foundations of the sport. Its popularity grew rapidly, spreading globally. Today, football is one of the most practiced and followed sports in the world. Research has shown that people isolated in extreme conditions, such as castaways, can develop a psychological bond with inanimate objects, talking to them and attributing personalities to them as a way of maintaining their mental health. Jumping into water from a great height feels like hitting the ground due to the viscosity of the water. At high speeds, water offers resistance to rapid deformation, acting more like a solid in those brief moments. This can cause injuries similar to those from impacts against hard surfaces. According to a study conducted by a team of researchers, for every human being on Earth, there are approximately 2.5 million ants. The more than 20 quadrillion ants in the world are crucial for the ecosystem, as they play an essential role in the decomposition of organic matter, soil aeration, and the pollination of plants. To date, there are more than 15,000 species and subspecies of ants registered by science, and many others that have not yet been discovered. The longest video game saga belongs to Mega Man from Capcom. Since its inception in 1987, the franchise has more than 40 titles. In addition, if you add Mega Man's appearances in other games, the number reaches 93 games. Sciatolator is a funeral services company that launched the first consolidated service of coffin transfers by bicycle, with the aim of doing its bit and reducing the negative impact on the environment. To offer the service, an electric bicycle is used anchored to a 3-wheeled steel platform where the coffin goes, called Corbicyclette. The platform has an assisted load technology that facilitates pedaling. The innovative service does not detract from the seriousness or importance of the occasion. Rather, the elegant design of the bike, along with the ecological proposal of the service, has made many people in Paris resort to it. The horn screamer is the unicorn of birds. These animals grow a long cartilage spine in the middle of their foreheads. They do not use it to fight, as it is quite fragile and can break. It is more like an ornament. This is the Rueta, the narrowest street in Italy. It is barely 40 centimeters at its narrowest point. It is located in the town of Civitella del Tronto in the Abruzzo region. Be very careful stepping in puddles in the woods. In this video, you can see how deep and dangerous they can be. The Brazilian wandering spider, also known as the banana spider, is one of the most venomous in the world. Its venom can cause severe symptoms in humans, such as tachycardia and difficulty breathing. It is an agile predator that feeds mainly on insects, frogs, lizards, and bats. Its wandering behavior makes it difficult to detect in its habitat. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.